Friends, we have gathered today virtually to mark the 96th birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. The Ministry of External Affairs, with whom he had a particularly close relationship as Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, and as a parliamentarian, is proud to announce the commencement of an annual memorial lecture on foreign policy dedicated to him. This will be delivered each year by a prominent practitioner or analyst. Atalji was a titan of his times who left an indelible stamp on many of our national policies. Like those of my generation, I had the privilege of interacting with him as a diplomat. In fact, he was the foreign minister when I first entered the ministry in 1977. We would see him in parliament and occasionally on diplomatic visits. His warmth and kindness was, of course, legendary. But I should also state that his solid practicality was just as impressive as his soaring rhetoric. In particular, I recall being received by him when I was serving in Tokyo. I was the deputy chief of mission then. The nuclear tests had happened, and we were dealing with the aftermath.
I'm particularly honored to be here on the occasion of Prime Minister Vajpayee's 96th birth anniversary. You know, it was a very different world in the early years of the 20th century when Prime Minister Vajpayee was born and his early formative years, where India was still a British colony. And yet the world sees today a very different India, in part due to the life and legacy of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. I had the honor of meeting Prime Minister Vajpayee during his visit to the United States and his address before the joint session of Congress in September of 2000, as well as leading a trade delegation to India and meeting with the Prime Minister in New Delhi. I had at that joint session the opportunity to see for myself what so many millions in India already knew. The powerful and poetic oratory, the keen intellect, and the bold vision that could cross political divides and unify the nation. Prime Minister Vajpayee, who was the first to speak of the US-India partnership as being one between natural allies, spoke before the Congress of a partnership between democracies that brought unity out of diversity. He said the American people have shown that democracy and individual liberty provide the conditions in which knowledge progresses, science discovers, innovation occurs.